The WNBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. You can win up to 325 times your entry with their new Pick 8. Sign up with promo code NBA SGPN to claim your special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code NBA SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Get the best data-driven props and picks from Rhythm. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Yes, sir. We are back with another edition of the WNBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. No me, no the voice, no the guy. It's me, really Row. Villain Row. It's Terrell Furman Jr. here at your service. I don't know how we got here, but here we are. The lock record has moved to 12-1 and is in jeopardy tonight as the Aces are going up against the Wings, currently at halftime, a 5-point lead by the Aces. Big first quarter for them, then a big second quarter from the Wings to make this a game. We'll be following this along as we go along this episode, but Scott Studio Reichel here, and the man, just a pure dog out in the streets, getting it done. Scott, what's going on?
Scotty, beat me up.
Surprise.
Yeah, doing pretty well. Ended up sweeping the last episode, so can't complain. Had the miracle under between the Liberty and the Sky. Not sure how the under got there, but it did. So thank you, Liberty, for playing defense for a half. Either way, though, they ended up getting there for the dog. Ended up winning. Had the same game parlay with the Sun spread parlayed with the total under. And there might be a common theme for the rest of the season. Once again, the Sun defensively are incredible. Took a while to get going, though. Mystics did well in the first half, but then immediately got buried in the third quarter as the Sun ended up winning, and it went under. So I believe that was plus 264. I don't have the updated dog record for me, but I know it's pretty good. So
I have the updated dog record, so you don't have to worry about it. You are currently 6-7, hitting 46.15% of your dogs. It's craziness. Absolutely crazy.
People have to remember that all those dogs that I hit were basically like 2-1 or higher.
So if you're on your dogs, you want to be about, I believe Sean said 35%. That's about even 35%. So 46% of your dogs is just amazing value. Like he's almost the 50-50, and he's getting damn near 2-1 on every bet. So absolutely, it's great ROI there. So between Scott, dogs, absolutely going crazy. My locks are still on a heater, and we're just gonna rinse and repeat, keep trying it over and over and over again. Here we go. This second half is about to start. We're about to go ahead and get into the two games on a Thursday slate in the WNBA. But the first thing I got to talk to you about is the NBA Finals props contest, because you need to make sure that you're taking advantage. Look, it's free money. You can win free money. All you have to do is go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/NBA Finals to enter our NBA Finals props contest. The winner will get $100 cash and a $100 SGPN gift card. So make sure you go to that contest. That is the sportsgamblingpodcast.com/NBA Finals. And because the Hockey Gambling Podcast are a bunch of jocks and they saw that we had an NBA Finals contest going on, they said, hey, why don't we have a Stanley Cup contest? Why isn't that going on? Honestly, it was a bunch of crying by the Hockey Gambling Podcast guys, but it's cool. It's all right. We'll give them a contest too. So guess what? You can also win another $100 cash, another SGPN gift card if you go and hop on the sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Stanley Cup to enter the Stanley Cup contest. It's free to enter, so you might as well try, because maybe you'll win. All right, Scott, two games up on the Thursday slate of WNBA. First game on the docket, 7 p.m. on the East Coast. You have the Chicago Sky going up against the Washington Mystics. Washington Mystics still looking for their first win. Chicago Sky are laying 4.5 here. 156.5 is the total between these two teams. looking at the injury report here, and I see for the Chicago Sky, Diamond DeShields is probable. She looks like she's going to be able to go in that game tomorrow. And for the Washington Mystics, Brittany Sykes is out, and Shakira Austin is still out as well.
Is
Here we
there a
go.
tier gap between these teams?
Mm,
There might be. Maybe like one tier, not a heavy amount, but I mean, look, the way that I see it is that the Sky did give the Liberty a serious run for their money twice, and they won one. So that counts for something to me.
yeah, but I just, and I mean, the Liberty did turn it on at the end late, but it's just, do you feel comfortable laying these points on the road with the Sky?
I don't know if it's a matter of feeling comfortable with laying the points or just not wanting to have anything to do with the Mystics at all. Besides maybe Mystics first half. Because they seem to show up for the first half and they immediately get buried in the second half. But I mean, once again, we saw the Sky lose. It was a game that they potentially could have won, and then the wheels fell off late. But the point is, I do think the Mystics are still a bad basketball team. And you're looking at them defensively. They gave up 76 points to the Sun, which I know sounds decent. The Sun, though, play a very slow pace, and they don't really score a ton of points. Give up 90 to the Liberty, 73 to the Dream, 101 to the Storm. I mean, I will admit they're a lot better at home than on the road. I feel like that's kind of the scary part of this. But until they win a game, I might have to just keep fading them. I really do think the Sky are the better team. And from what we've seen up to this point in the season, the Sky can definitely get the job done any given night. And I do think that the Sky should take advantage of an injured team. It's two important players, too, with Sykes and with Austin. Two of their best players on the roster at this point. I know you still got Atkins, no disrespect to her. But the point is, with Deladon, they were hoping to get serious contributions from the others, and that was going to result in them being decent this season. Has not happened. The team's just not very good. As for the Sky, though, they are 2-2 on the road. Did lose to the Fever. Did lose to the sorry, just pulling it up here. They ended up losing to the Liberty at home in Chicago last time out, I believe, or I think that was in Chicago. It was. Ended up beating the Liberty on the road, though. Beat the Wings on the road. They ended up splitting those first two games against the Wings. So I think this team's actually been okay on the road as a whole. And I do think that looking at this overall line, I think it's a bit cheap. I think the Sky are better than this team. If you think the Mystics finally get a win, then that's one thing. But there's really no reason for me to trust this team when I don't know where the points are coming from. Besides Atkins, do they really have anybody else who I trust can actually score? Not really. The Sky, I think, have the size advantage. With you're looking at Austin being out. We know that Reese, no matter how bad the field goal percentage is a phenomenal rebounder. And I do think she should have a monster game on the boards. Cardoso's been working her way back. She was not very good against the Liberty. Facing off, though, against John Quell and against Brianna, kind of can do that to you. I think she bounces back, but I do think the Sky are the better team. I'll lay the 4.5.
Yeah. Honestly, truly, I'm not interested in the spread of this game at all.
Okay.
And the reason you have it at that is because both of these two teams are abysmal in the second half of games, to be honest. And you have the Chicago Sky, who are second to last in the WNBA in points scored in the second half. The Washington Mystics are last. And I mean, somebody's got to show up in the second half of this game, and I think that's the concern of for me is this Mystics team just going to outplay them at home in the second half when both of these two teams tend to struggle? And I'm not going to lie, this is a little bit of a letdown for the Chicago Sky. Going playing a livery and then coming and playing this Washington team that you're favored against. You feel like you get a win, and I don't know. Sometime I'm going to take the Sky. I'm going to take the Sky and lay the 4.5. But I'm not betting this. I don't want any part of these two teams in a full game. Like that, it's just too many glaring numbers in the second half that doesn't make me trust either one of these two teams. But and they're both actually really good first half teams, so it kind of makes me not even want to play the first half either. But this Washington Mystics team is picking up right where they left off. You're 0-9, but you're still winning and covering in the first half. So yeah, I'll take the Chicago Sky. I don't really like it. I'm not really interested in either team, but I do think they win, and I just have to assume that they're going to be able to cover if they win. 156.5 is the total here. I would still play under.
I'd lean that way too. But
Washington's still good defensively, man. Like they're still really solid defensively. Yeah, they go out there and you play the superpowers of the league and you give up points, but when they play, anybody that's 5, 6 and below, they look pretty solid defensively. I don't know. My opinion, they look really good defensively against the Sun, and they had that game in grass until the end of the third quarter and then fourth quarter on, and that's where they just kind of let it go. But defensively, they were playing the Sun really, really tight in that first half. And so, yeah, I like the Mystics defensively. And we already know I like Chicago defensively. So, yeah, give me under 156.5.
I do want to point out one thing about the rebounding, which I do find kind of fascinating. So the Sky this season ranked third in the league in rebounds per game. The Mystics do rank dead last. However, there's a bit of a paradox with the Sky's actual stats. They're third in rebounds per game, but they're allowing the most rebounds per game, which I don't know how that makes any sense, but that's what the numbers tell me. So I don't know I guess they're just a bunch of loose rebounds when they play. So I don't know if that means anything. I will point out, though, if you are scared of the under, I'm going to at least throw out devil's advocate here. These teams do foul the most in the entire league. The Mystics, I believe, foul the second most in the league, and the Sky foul the most. So I'm going to throw that out there. We saw the Sky did attempt, I think it was like 30 free throws against the Liberty or something crazy. They got a bunch of free throw attempts, but something to keep in mind. I do think the rebounding advantage matters, but it's mostly just based on Alston being out, and I just question if it's going to be a serious Angel Reese game. I think it should be. We'll get into player props in a second, but I think the rebound should definitely be there. Her rebounds are still at 8.5. So that might be the way I'll play the rebounding advantage instead of going with a side or a total.
So you don't have a lean either way.
No, I would lean Sky and I'd lean to the under. I'm just saying I might prefer player props in this game.
Oh, okay. All right. Next game not next game, player props.
I just mentioned Reese rebounds at 8.5. I feel like with Alston being out, even when Reese got ejected in that Liberty game, the second technical was rescinded. She did have 10 plus rebounds in that game. So I think that she is once again still a solid overall rebounder. The issue is always the points, because the double-double's at 230, which is very attractive for this matchup. But the issue is, can she make a layup? And I feel like the field goal percentage has been abysmal, especially for a forward in the league, in any league for basketball. I saw a really funny, kind of out-of-pocket tweet where somebody said that she's female Tristan Thompson, and I thought that was hilarious, but I can kind of see it at this point in her career. She's got to work on it, but the point is she's relentless on the boards. She does get to the line a lot. Free throws are a bit hit or miss, but I do think double-double at plus 230 is definitely worth something, because she really should, matchup-wise, have a field day on the glass. I think you'd agree with that.
Yeah.
Agree with that?
I think she, the battle between Angel Reese and Aaliyah Edwards is going to be really good. Aaliyah Edwards had I think it was an 11 rebound game in their first start last game. What did she end up finishing with? I know she was really good at
I'll pull that up.
Aaliyah Edwards 9. She finished with 9, so she had 14 and 9 in that last game. I think that's the matchup that I'm gonna be watching and seeing how Edwards is able to play her, and what they do on the glass, because they're gonna need it. Like, they're gonna need help. Steph Dolson, we don't know her as that prototypical big that's gonna be rebounding basketball. She's gonna stretch the floor. Maisha Hines Allen is gonna come off the bench and help them, but it's really gonna come down to the rebounding battle. And I just think that the Sky just have a lot of options, honestly, that are gonna help. And that's why I'm on Elizabeth Williams on the over her points and rebounds. I played this last game. I took her rebounds and I played the points and rebounds in the last game. She's been over this line rather consistently. If you look at the baseline prop, she's gone over in every game this season. She's just been really, really good offensively in limited minutes. And even with Cardoso coming back, the first game, she didn't have a good game against the Indiana Fever. The next game, she comes back and has a great game against Liberty and goes over her props. So Elizabeth Williams is somebody that is flying under the radar. People don't really know her on this team. Compared to, the Angel Reese, the Cardoso, Dana Evans. Like, they're really not talking about Elizabeth Williams, but she's constantly going over this points and rebounds prop. So I'm going to back it again, because there's a deficiency in the center position for them with Shakira Alston out, and I think she's going to be able to take advantage.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a good angle. We know how impactful she can be, and I'm not sure if the odds makers have fully caught up with her props, so that could be a good read. I'm
I'm
not sure
trying
if
to
her
get
lines are going to stay
a.
there.
Let me see. I'm trying to get an updated. So I got her. It's so funny because I got her rebounds at 4.5 yesterday, and because somebody tweeted out her lower
Hmm.
6.5 or under 6.5, and they I guess all his people they bought the line down. The line it was at 6.5, and then I looked and it was at 4.5, and I'm like, wait, what? And I hammered and took 6+ at plus money, and she got it. So now I see it back at 6.5 here, minus 128. I think that rebounds prop is still a good prop for her. And then the points and rebounds are at 16.5, minus 114. I think that's all right. I could see her doing is essentially what she did last game, 10-8.
The one question I do want to ask you for the Mystics in this game is looking at player props. How many points are we actually expecting the Mystics to score? Because they scored 59 last game. I don't have Aaliyah Edwards props. She had 14 of those, so she was phenomenal in that game. But I have to at
Mhm.
least point it out because she scored 14 and Hines Allen scored 10. Those are the only two players to score double digits in the entire game. Now, Connecticut's Connecticut. Defensively, they're great. We know this. But I guess the question is, how much faith do you actually have in overs for Mystics points props when I don't know who can actually score on this team?
I mean, they're kind of baked in where it doesn't feel like you're taking much of a risk if you are taking it. Where is it? Who is Julie Van Loo? Her points prop is at 7.5 right now. And
Yeah.
so if you go look, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, she's like kind of been cruising over this at 7.5. I think 8.5 is where the issues came in. Let me see. Let me go back and pull this up.
She's going
Uh,
over 7.5 in three of the last five. I mean, so she's been kind of up and down. She's had less than 6 in 2 of the last 3 games, but she was doing well before that.
yeah. So yeah, look at the season as a whole. Brittany Sykes went down early in the season, and she's gone over this in what? Yeah, 5 of 9. So and point and a assist prop has been good too. I wouldn't even mind. What's their points and assists? Let me see. Yeah, so points and assists, pretty much same thing. I think that if there is an opportunity, it's probably with Julie Van Loo, who just consistently is shooting the three and helping them extend the range. And then she's also playing the point guard of this team, and she just kind of stacks up on assists. Like she has a 7 assist game, an 8 assist game, a 9 assist game. Like I see, and then you see the fives out there, and I think her assist prop is actually at 5.5. Like there's a bunch of fives
Yeah, it
out there.
is.
She's been really, really close. And so, yeah, points and assists for Julie Van Loo, I think, is somebody that I could get behind. And just saying that, I don't know who's going to actually do the scoring. Maybe Ariel Atkins wakes up, and at the end, I would play Ariel Atkins 13.5 on pure volume, like just on pure volume. She can get, I mean, Arike had 14 earlier. She was like 4 for 10, 4 for 11. So, like, on pure volume, Ariel Atkins, who I think is a very, very talented scorer, can be there. So, probably Atkins 13.5 is somebody that I would play on Washington, and Julie Van Loo, the points and assists. I don't think I would. I don't think I want to play one or the other. I see 13 at even money. I think I would prefer the even money and just play both.
I think I found a prop I do like though. I'm looking at Dolson's rebounds, and I know that she was kind of an under machine when you saw Austin playing. With Austin out though, she's actually been pretty good at rebounding. Her line's at 4.5. It's actually even money
Hmm.
on the over. She's played 3 games this season without Austin in the lineup. She's had 6+ rebounds in 2 of those 3. I said before Chicago's allowing the most rebounds per game in the entire league, which is a paradox. They're a good rebounding team, but
Hmm.
Dolson's also never in foul trouble. She's had less than 4 fouls in I think every game. So I think you're looking at an option where her numbers might be a bit off because they're still pricing her as if her season averages are this, and Austin's not playing. So there's a completely different dynamic, and she's going to play more minutes. But when you've had 6+ in 2 of the 3 games without the starting center, and your line's at 4.5 at even money, and they kind of have to play you a bunch of minutes, I'll take the over on that. So I think that Dolson over 4.5 rebounds is worth a look. Over 5.5 rebounds is actually plus 180. I think that might be appealing.
All right. Underdog Fantasy now has pick 8, and they're live for the NBA Finals. You can create up to 8 picks in Underdog and automatically double flex entries. So you can miss up to 2 picks and still win your entry. The best part is you can win up to 325 times the original amount. So make sure you go and tap in with Underdog Fantasy. We're going to give you an underdog lineup towards the end of the show, a little makeshift one, but we'll give you an underdog lineup at the end of the show. Make sure you use that promo code NBA SGPN, NBA SGPN, and that's going to give you a special pick and first time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. That is promo code NBA SGPN at underdogfantasy.com. All right, we are on to the next game and last game on the slate. We have the New York Liberty traveling to Atlanta to play the Atlanta Dream. Dream catching 6.5 at home, 164.5 is the total. Injury report here for these two teams, and for the New York Liberty, Nayara Sabali is still out with that back injury. She's not going to be playing in this game. And then you have Jordan Canada, who's still out with the hand injury. She's not playing for the Atlanta Dream. So, Scott here, Dream catching 6.5 at home against New York Liberty.
This Dream team
I
bother me. I can't figure them out. I can't figure out this Dream team.
think so.
I was gonna say maybe you could help me out. I
really don't. I mean, what have they done? I mean, I guess you could say beating the Aces, but I said the Dream, they're live at home. And so, I mean, they lost to a good Sun team. And I mean, the Sun are the number one team and everybody's, talking about everything. So I really can't put too much stock into them losing that game. But like, they covered the Mystics on the road, lost to the Lynx, beat the Wings, lost to the Mercury on the road. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I actually am kind of confused. I feel like the 3 games they're lost, I'm not surprised they lost. And so it's like, I feel good about them. I feel like they're doing exactly what they're supposed to do. And at this point, I'm not gonna lay points with Liberty. I'm just not gonna do it. I'm straight. Like, if it's not against the Fever, and yeah, we laid it against Chicago, but that didn't give you warm fuzzies until
No,
the
not at all.
fourth quarter? They were down at the end of the third. They were down. They were down by 1. Like, it didn't give you warm fuzzies until the fourth quarter where they just kind of figured it out. And we just talked about how Chicago is the second worst scoring team in the second half. So, I mean, when you think about it and you look at this Dream team, yes, they lost to the 2 top teams in the league, and then they lost to the Mercury at home, which is a great environment. It's a tough road trip for anybody to make. And the Mercury were shooting the lights out. Now we have this Dream team that I think is looking to come back, looking for revenge, and they still see themselves as one of the top teams in the league. And if this Dream team can play defense at home, I think anything can happen. Like, I just don't trust this Liberty team. I don't trust Liberty team to lay points, and I think the Dream are too good of a team that I'm just going to trust them to lay 6.5 at home. So I'm probably just going to take the Dream at 6.5.
Well, this is also kind of the reason why the Dream are bothering me. It's because I think we know deep down the Liberty aren't exactly trustworthy, but they're 8-2. So don't they fit the type of profile
Yeah,
of
but they've
team
been
that the
playing.
Dream
But
have
the
been
Dream
losing to?
haven't played they played the Fever 3 times. The Dream haven't played the Fever once. Like, if the Dream played
Yeah,
the Fever
that's
3
fair.
times, they would be a better record too. I just feel like the 3 losses they have are quality losses. Like, I don't think I look at any of those games and say, "Oh, dang, like, oh man, like, yeah, I was on the Dream against Connecticut, but like, it's Connecticut, so am I
Although
really,
you're
really
also
too
forgetting
mad?"
they beat the Mystics twice. You're forgetting that too.
And yeah. So like, I'm taking the Dream, man. Dream plus 6.5 and sprinkle on the money line. I think the Dream are live, and this is a tough 3-game stretch playing the Aces, Sun, and Liberty at home. First of all, schedule makers, that's crazy. That's insane. But I think they had that stretch circled on their calendar, and they said, let's get 2 or 3. Let's get 2 or 3. Let's get 2 or 3 at home. All of them are at home. This is a chance for you to cement yourselves as, hey, we really do think we can lock down defensively, because if we do, we're one of the best teams in the league. I'll take the Dream at home, man. I'm just going to continue to back Atlanta teams in Atlanta.
Okay, I do want to ask you one other thing. Do you believe in look-ahead games for the Commissioner's Cup? I'm asking because the Liberty play the Sun in Connecticut, their next game, on the 8th. Are they looking ahead to that game?
Potentially. Could be. I don't. Probably
We're not
not,
going to
but
really know, but I'm just
probably
asking.
not. But
Something to keep
yeah,
in mind. It's a
probably
variable that I
not.
want
But
to at least mention.
it helps my argument. So let's just go ahead and say yeah.
I just think it's a variable that's worth keeping in mind. I think I'm going to agree with you. I think I'm going to lean to the Dream. Yeah, you made a good case about the Liberty kind of having a padded record. They beat the Fever 3 times. They beat the Mystics twice. That's 5 wins. Beat the Sky. They split that, but that's still a win. And they ended up beating the Mercury on a back-to-back at home. And we know the Mercury are terrible on the road. And they still barely won the game in general. The only impressive win they've had this season was against the Storm, when I don't believe NECA played in that game. I don't think she played in that
No,
game.
she did not.
So you can make a kind of an asterisk by
And
a
it was a
lot of these.
back-to-back for the Storm.
Yeah, so the point is the Liberty really haven't beaten anybody. That's a good point by you. Yeah, I'll go with the Dream. Plus the 6.5. I feel like that's a few too many points. Are the Liberty going to win? Maybe, but I do think you're looking at a spot where 6.5 might be a bit much, and I think this game might come down to the wire.
Yeah, I've watched that second quarter by the Liberty was just abysmal. It was absolutely abysmal, and I just don't. I'm good.
I can't even call it a
All right.
fluke, by the way, because they gave up 90 points in the first game to the Sky, and they were on pace to allow basically 90 points again, and then they had 1 or 2 really good quarters, but they just don't bring it enough defensively on a regular basis. It's kind of an issue.
All right.
So
Let's see here. Total sitting here at what is this total at? 164.5.
I think I have to lean over. I don't trust the Liberty defensively.
Yeah.
Do you? Like I don't.
Not really. Not really. Not at all. And I think it's too many options for the Dream that can score on this Liberty team, especially through the paint. And so I think the Liberty are gonna match them potentially. I mean, if they don't, then there's definitely going under. So yeah, I'm taking the over 164.5 in Atlanta. All right, let's see here.
Player props.
Yep. What you got? Anything sticking out?
So I want to at least talk about Jonquel because she's become more impactful recently, but I do have a question about if you prefer taking her rebounds, her points in rebounds, or just her points. I think I prefer the rebounds alone. She's had 10 plus rebounds in 3 straight games. She only had 5 points against Chicago last game. And I do think
They're a
that
tough
her
matchup
boards.
for her.
Yeah, I know. But I'm just saying in general, her rebounds are still at 8.5. And she's had 10 plus rebounds in 3 straight games. I feel
Yeah.
like that's probably worth blindly taking. She also had 9 rebounds in each of the last 2 meetings, or 9 plus rebounds in each of the 2 meetings most recently. She had 13 in the last meeting. I think 8.5 is too low for a Jonquel rebound number. I'll take the over on that.
I would for this game, I would play the points and rebounds.
Okay.
And 22.5. I just don't think that inside. I mean, we don't know. Tina Charles can play defense, but it's more about the offense in her game. And I think Jonquel Jones, this is a matchup that she can take advantage of, playing over Tina Charles, playing over some of the bigs of Atlanta. I think that she can actually have a bounce back game in this one. Just, Chicago's always been really a tough matchup for her recent years. So yeah, I think this is a more of a Jonquel Jones, points and rebounds kind of game. I think that both of those you get over just in case one of those sneak you. But for me, there's one obvious play here. And I feel like
Brianna 19.5 again?
No.
Oh.
No. That is not it.
I thought it was a good guess.
Yeah, no. Alicia Gray over 15.5 points.
Okay.
And we're going to ladder her. And there's a number of reasons of why I wanted to talk about Alicia Gray here today. Reason number 1, I'm not sure if anybody, for a lot of our listeners, aren't tapped into the women's basketball scene that much, honestly. So I'm going to let you know. They have a 3-on-3 basketball in the Olympics. Alicia Gray is a former gold medalist, and she was left off of the 3-on-3 roster today. It is I believe Cam Brink, Haley Van HBL, Haley Van Leith, and Ryan Howard. Ryan Howard are all on that team. And she sent out a tweet like congratulating Ryan Howard on making the team. But a lot of people agree Alicia Gray should have been back on that Olympic team. You know I love a good narrative. Now you know I love a great narrative. But when narrative and data both mix, oh, it's great for me. And I mean, absolutely amazing. So let's go ahead and hit a little share screen here for my play today. And that's going to be Alicia Gray over 15 and a half. She has gone over 15 and a half in 3 of the last 5.
2 of the last 3. She's at least 19.
Look at that. Yep. And then she is also, if you go head to head against the Liberty, and look how she played the Liberty last year, all 4 games. Why is this 15 and a half? It's gonna go up. It's going to go up. Go ahead and play it now. There's no reason. I mean, we have the narrative, we have the data. Shout out to Outlier. Oh, go ahead and play her. She's playing and she's playing well. Like it's not even she's playing well right now. Like she's shooting the basketball great right now. And so I especially after that Sun game, I think that this is a very, very good opportunity for this dream team, especially against the Liberty, who is questionable defensively at times, to just wake up and have a really, really good all defensive day. So I'm gonna pick Alicia Gray to lead them. Alicia Gray over.
So I didn't know about the 3-on-3 thing. Oh, you just told me about that. They took Van Lith.
She's really her game is really, really good for 3-on-3. Like really, really
Okay.
good. You gotta watch the games. Her game is really, really good for 3-on-3.
I was gonna say the last time I saw her, I believe people were not a fan of her game in the NCAA tournament. That's the last thing I remember. She transferred where to like TCU or something, I think. But I just remember it's still kind of weird they took a college player over Alicia Gray. I find that kind of fascinating. So we'll see what happens, but I can understand why she'd be pissed off about that.
But you gotta, man, and it's I think that, and they played on a team. What's the last player name? I forget her name because I'm not gonna lie, I'm not really up on her game, but I want to shout her out to Sierra Burdick.
Okay.
And so all 3 of them, like all 4 of them, have played together in, I believe it was FIBA 3-on-3.
Okay.
And they won there, and they look really, really good there. And so I think that's where this all kind of stemmed from that run they had there. But you got to watch her play in the 3-on-3. She really should just, yeah, no, it's definitely a youth movement because they're definitely like not giving Ryan Howard as much shine as she deserves, to be honest. Like Ryan Howard is an all-star in the W and, 20 point per game scorer, like, well, that type of scorer. So
yeah,
definitely didn't give Ryan Howard enough love, but I definitely thought that Alicia, because they were their teammates in the W now. So I think that's why everybody was like, Ryan and Alicia got to be locks. And then it's going to be, some combination of 2 of the other 3, and that's going to be the team. But yeah, man, she got snubbed. So we're getting a snub game. We're getting a snub game for sure.
Yeah, I was just wondering. I was trying to remember when Ryan Howard actually got drafted. It's her 3rd year in the league, so she's still 24. Van Lith is still in college, and Brink is a rookie. So it seems like they passed her over because they wanted to get younger. That's kind of how I look at it, and that's still harsh. So
she's gonna kill.
There you go.
She's gonna kill tomorrow. All right. Anything else? Anything else you got?
No. I think we covered it. Don't have much else to talk about. Unless you want to go for maybe like a Vandersloot fade, but I don't even see. I do see props for. I don't know if you want to go for an under on her. Her assists have actually been good though. She's had at least 6 assists in 4 of the last 5 games. So it's just something to consider if you want to take a Vandersloot. If you want to take a Vandersloot over 5.5 assists, the recent numbers back it up. Head-to-head, she also has gone over. She's had at least 6 assists in 3 of the last 4. She's actually had 11 assists in 2 of the last 4 games. So if you want to go for maybe a Vandersloot assist, that might be worth something. But I'm probably not going to play it.
All right. I didn't mean to bypass Stewie. I just want to talk about it. Stewie has a pretty solid matchup.
I just know that the 19.5 was back, and she had like 30 last game. That's why I thought you might be going back to it. I didn't know about the narrative stuff.
Oh, no. All right.
Does a revenge game still exist for Tina Charles, or are we too many years removed?
Nah. I get to her.
Just ask.
Let's do it. Yeah, shoot. Go ahead. I mean, the Liberty been giving up a lot of points inside. Like it seems like they're giving up very, very easy scoring. That's very frustrating when you're a fan of a team and you want to see them win a game by not giving you a heart attack. All right. I think that's it for me. Let's see here before we get to lock and dog. Got to talk to you about Rhythm. Make sure you use their WNBA features. You have a whole bunch of data to back your bets. You can get some custom betting models, AI betting recommendations, all of this great stuff. And over at Rhythm, RITHMM, that's RITHMM. Make sure you tap into Rhythm. Let's look and see what Rhythm has for the W tomorrow and what Rhythm's calling for with their team of data scientists that are working around the clock just to make sure you have the best models and picks available for you. All right, let's see here. Refreshing, updating, and they are going against me. They like the Liberty laying the 6.5 points here. They think the Liberty are going to dominate 14.4. That's what they're predicting. Minus 14.4 for the Liberty.
They have the
That's
murder
tough.
in this team.
Yeah, they don't even think that's close.
Okay.
And hence why they're on the under. I guess they're saying that the Liberty are going to step up defensively and just smother the Atlanta Dream. So
I'll believe it when I see it. Just gonna put it that way. They were great for basically
bro,
a
it's so
quarter and a
hard
half.
it's so hard to trust them, and they didn't play anybody this year, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I already don't trust you and you didn't play anybody. Come on, man. So those are the picks. You can back Rhythm. Hey, and Rhythm also likes the. Do they like the? Let me see. What else do they got here? Yeah, they do. They like the under in that Sky Mystics game. We talked about that earlier. They have that under, but it is really, really close. They have it at 155.9, and it's at 156.5. So not much room for error there. But they still got it cashing at 57.4% win probability. Shout out to Rhythm. Get it done.
I'd also like to point out that Rhythm and I both agreed on the under in that last Liberty game, and it got there. So shout out to Rhythm.
All right. Let's close. Oh, make sure you get that 7-day free trial with sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. We're also brought to you by NYRA Bets, the Belmont Stakes at Saratoga. And you can bet it with NYRA. You can get a whole bunch of bonus bets with them too. If you just joined, you can get a $25 free bet, $200 deposit bonus in time for the Belmont Stakes. You can also get a $10 bet when you bet $100 on the Penn National Forest on Friday. You bet $100 on Monmouth Park on Saturday. They'll give you $10. And you can win $20 if you bet $100 on the Assiniboia Downs.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
We tried.
That's a
We'll figure it out
mouthful.
someday.
It is a mouthful. Grab a share of $2,500 as well when you hit the last two trifectas. So just opt in nyrabets.com/SGPN25. That's nyrabets.com/SGPN25 to get your bonus bets. All right. Next game on this. No games.
There are
We're
no more.
talking lock and dog. I'm getting excited, getting ahead of myself. 2-game slate, lock and dog.
By the way, while you think about that, for the update, the Aces right now, knock on wood, are up 19 with 8 minutes to go. So knock on wood.
Yeah. All right. This is wood, by the way. All right. I'm going back and forth between two. I am going back and forth between the under in the Sky Mystics game. And I feel a little bit of confliction because the one loss that I had was the under in a Sky game. It was just the one against the Sun.
Okay.
The other is Ali Shagray over 15.5. Because it just feels like, man, it just feels like that's written. And I like both. And I might end up just going ahead and picking both and just picking them in different ways. And I think I'll do that. Yeah, I'll do that. Because I really don't trust the Mystics offensively. But I know they play good defense on the road. And then I actually don't trust the Sky at all. And I don't trust either of these two teams to do anything in the second half. So I'm like, yeah, let's just take the under 156.5. Take a chance.
Okay.
That's the lock. Sky Mystics under 156.5 for my dog. What's the price? What's the price? What's the price? All right, there we go. 20 plus points for Alicia Gray is plus 285.
Okay. Well, you said you wanted to ladder that anyway, so how high do you want the ladder to go?
I think that's the only option. Yeah, that's the highest I see. I mean, well, on this one book, I didn't go shopping yet, but we'll do the 20 plus at plus 285. Alicia Gray,
Okay.
because I mean she's gonna go out and kill. And honestly, I think this Liberty team defensively is gonna have a lot of holes here. And I mean, she's done pretty good to get over this in the last 4 games. I just need a couple extra. And she had 25 in the last game against Liberty, actually. So yeah, I'll take 20 plus from Alicia Gray because they did her dirty. Come on, man. Go hoop. Go kill him.
All right. So for my lock on the show, I think I am going to go with the prop I mentioned before. Give me Dolson over 4.5 rebounds at even money. I think even money is a great price. She had 7 rebounds last game. Mentioned before, in 2 of the last 3 games without Austin in the lineup, she's had 6+ rebounds. Mentioned before, Chicago is also allowing the most rebounds in the entire game. I mean, in the entire league per game. So I think that Dolson, with the amount of workload she should be getting, is in a good spot to get some boards. I would have taken something with Aaliyah Edwards, but unfortunately I have no props, so I cannot do that. So unfortunately, have to go elsewhere. But I am going to go with Dolson over 4.5. That line does feel a bit too low. For the dog on the show, I have to think of what I actually want to do, because I didn't really like the sides enough to parlay him, and I didn't really like the sides enough for an alt line. So I might be going for a double-double prop potentially if I wanted to make a case for maybe Tina Charles or maybe John Quell. I got to figure out how I want to go about this, but let me just quickly see how she's been doing rebounding-wise for Tina Charles. I think I have to go for Tina in this one. I'm going to go with Tina Charles double-double at plus 200. I mentioned before it's a quote-unquote revenge game because she used to play for the Liberty a while back, but the Liberty are average at points in the paint allowed. So I think that Tina Charles can get some opportunities to capitalize. She has had at least 12 rebounds in 2 of the last 3 games. I think that she can definitely score. Her points props at 12.5. I think that she has scored at least 12 points in 4 of the last 5 games. So I do think she should be able to get the points. And I do think the rebound should be there as well. Give me Tina Charles double-double at plus 200. I thought about Angel Reese double-double at plus 230. But fun fact, though, the Mystics are allowing the second fewest points in the paint per game. Was not expecting that. But apparently the Mystics are actually good at eliminating opportunities in the paint. So I'm going to skip on Angel Reese. Give me Tina Charles double-double at plus 200 as well.
All right. Let's see here. That's it. That's it for the show. We only got 2 games today. We'll be back tomorrow, though, because there's a 4-game slate on Friday. I believe it is. Is it 4? Yeah. 4 games on Friday. So we'll be back tomorrow, breaking down the Friday slate. We're going to get a lot of games over this Commissioner's Cup period. So just enjoy all the extra episodes and get ready.
You want underdog lineup?
Yeah, definitely. Let's drop a quick underdog lineup. I mean, it starts with Alicia Gray, higher,
I'm in
15.5 points. And we can throw in Dolson in there, higher on her rebounds. And
I think 4.5 is too
then,
low.
yeah. And then what's the last one?
I mentioned Tina Charles, but we can go John Quell. I know you said you like John
I
Quell.
don't think they're gonna have. You want to do a Tina Charles points and are they gonna have a points? Let's just say points and rebounds.
I thought about just
it might have a
rebounds.
points and rebounds. Just rebounds for Tina Charles.
I mean, to go through the rebounds recently for her, I think it's a good number. I mean, actually, you know what? No, you can. It depends. What do you want to do? You have any other players you want to mention?
You said what? Oh, anybody else?
If there's anybody else you like.
So let's see. Let me look here one more time. We can go Angel rebounds. We can go Elizabeth Williams points and rebounds. I really do like that play. I think that's too short. And then
I'm trying to think of any other options.
I think it's between. I think any or well, no, I don't really. I would pick a Sky player before that. Yeah, I think I would play Ariel Atkins. I think 13.5 is just too low. Like at the end of the day, she's still taking too many attempts.
Yeah, right. That works for me. We can go with Atkins.
All right, Ariel Atkins. Ariel Atkins higher, 13.5. We have what was the other one? Steph Dolson higher, 4.5 rebounds, and then we're gonna throw Alicia Gray higher, 15.5 points. Put that in underdog. That's gonna give you a 6-1 payout. $100 get $600. Make sure you use that promo code NBA SGPN. It helps us out, and you get very, very nice, cool stuff. So shout out to underdog. And all right, I have nothing else. What do you have? Anything else, Scott, before we get up out of here?
No, not really. I got a tennis show that I'm gonna do in about 20 minutes, so check in there. Besides
Ka-ching.
that, do you know when we're gonna be doing the next episode? Because I know we have another like 2
Yeah,
games.
tomorrow.
Yeah, we're doing one tomorrow. How many games are there again? 2?
Four games tomorrow.
There's 4. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So we'll cover those 4.
All right. Yeah, and yeah. Shout out to Slim Griffey for throwing in the Angel Reese back home angle as well. I forgot that narrative. She's definitely a Maryland kid, so she's definitely gonna go off. And it's in Capital One Arena. We didn't mention that, but this game is not in the entertainment center where the Mystics normally play their games. This is gonna be in Capital One. So another thing to help the under, honestly, going from
Neutral
smaller, larger gym. Yeah, new.
Technically, yeah, I know. It's a third party gym. The third party gym. That's what I meant.
Calling it a neutral site is so.
No, it's not.
insane.
It's actually not a neutral site, but it's
That's
a third
like
party.
Yo, that's like the SEC championship when Georgia's in the SEC championship. They're like neutral site in Atlanta.
Yeah, but it's not in Athens, so it's a neutral site. It's fine.
All right, man. All right.
To be fair,
Love
Georgia
it.
did lose that game. To be fair, but
They've lost a bunch of. They've lost a bunch of those games.
Yep.
But all right. I actually have first, for all those that are tuning in on Twitter, make sure you slide over to YouTube and give us a like on the video. All those that are tuning in to YouTube, please like the video, appreciate it, all the support, and let's just try to keep this thing going. So 5-star rating and review wherever you get your podcast. And yeah, that's it. So I have nothing else to say, nothing else to do, no other way of ending podcast. Just gonna end it like this. We are out of here.